Hi, it's Jessica Lohman from Ethical Brand Marketing, and thanks so much for coming. I wanted to talk to you today about how to get your products into retail stores. I I was sitting in my bed. I was lying in my bed um, reading. I forget what I was reading. I think I was just browsing on my iPad, and this was Saturday morning, and then a tweet popped up from Face the Fashion, and it interests me, so I clicked on the link, and it was an article written by, excuse me, I'm probably going to say her name, pronounce her name incorrectly, but I'm going to try. It was written by Pui-Guan Man of Drapers, which is an online fashion business news source. And her article featured Melanie Traub, the managing director of People Tree. And I'm sure you're familiar with People Tree. It's a growing, sustainable fashion brand. I really love their stuff. I love their t-shirts. And so I read this article and I was like, oh my God, this is so valuable. This is so good. So I split my screen and started typing like a madwoman, just taking notes of what I could write about, so that I can help you guys out. And I highlighted 7 things. I had 7 takeaways from this article that will help you impress retailers so that you can get your line into stores, and also help you grow your customer base. I'll put the link to the full blog post below. And I just want to go through these 7 things with you right now. And if you have any comments, just please go ahead and comment. And yeah, let's start. Okay, the number one, I know you're not supposed to put the number one, the most important thing at the top so that people continue to read, but I felt this was just so important. It's to treat your ethical business like a business and not like the green alternative. Retailers are not necessarily conscious consumers. They think differently than you do, than I do. They think in numbers. They think business, okay? So you have to speak their language, and it's not going to be earthy crunchy. It's going to be business. And I'm not talking about the retailers who are already in this ethical space. I'm talking about the major store retailers that you want to get into. The Macy's, the Bloomingdale. I can't even think of any right now because I just don't shop there anymore. Anyway, these big stores, you know, because if you want to change the way people shop, to get into these stores would be a fantastic way. Of course, we're all trying to, to just do ethical things and only to partner with ethical people and stuff, but we're also trying to change the world. And in order to do that, we have to also think bigger, okay? You're in business. And, this conscious consumer space is very small right now, but we want to make changes. And so we have to think bigger, and we have to think about these major retail stores, right? So if you want to get into them, and I hope you do, that you have to speak the way the retailer speaks, because he's not going to understand you, nor will he care. He's just not going to care, right? So, he needs to know that you mean business, that you're all about growing, and you're all about making him grow too. So, so talk about your numbers. Talk about how you've grown in the past year, and about the success that other stores have had by taking your line in. Talk about your numbers. Talk about that and not your values, because really, seriously, he's not going to care. Highlight your products and how awesome your products are. Instead of like plastering your values all over your home site or your website, your home page. Your home page is just the first page, by the way. Just let me quick interrupt here, because a lot of people think that the home page is the website. It's not. The home page is the very first page. For us, it's ethicalbrandmarketing.com, period. Right? There's nothing after that. That's the homepage. The website is the whole site with all your other pages, your about pages, your products, and your shop, and every other page, right? That's your whole website. So, if people come to your homepage, and especially retailers, because they are your customers too, right? If they come to your homepage and they're only seeing this ethical, sustainable language, they're going to go away. Okay. So if you highlight your products first and only first, you could definitely put something, at the bottom, but highlight your products. Make sure that is visible and that is overtaking everything else. Okay. And like, look at People Tree's website. In their English version, they don't say anything. There's this little logo, little badge at the bottom on the right-hand side about their fair trade certification. That's it. There's not even a link. It just says a couple of words, a little paragraph about what that badge means. That's it. On their German page, they have three sections about their ethical standpoints. And so, it depends upon the culture, depends upon where you're at. But in their English page, they don't say anything on their homepage. They have separate pages for that. So the people who are interested will go to their separate pages. And like in your product descriptions, if you have bamboo toothbrushes that are ethically sourced from China, that sounds like an oxymoron. So you want to anchor link that ethically sourced from China, bamboo ethically sourced from China, and go to the section on a page that says how our products are made, and then it says the bamboo somewhere on that page, and link to that part with the bamboo, and then explain it. Okay, have separate pages for your values. Okay. That's the most important thing, I think, from this whole blog post. That's why I've just spent 7 minutes talking about it. Okay, let's go to number 2 real quick. Sustainable fashion can also be fashionable. If we take the idea of hemp, okay, the material. Remember when it used to be really frumpy and potato sacky, right? It's a rough material. So people still have that in their mind, retailers too. Like I'm saying, retailers not in the ethical space, but normal retailers, okay? And also normal shoppers, right? So if you want to change the way people shop, highlight your designs and highlight how your hemp is beautiful, is not frumpy, is not, doesn't look like a potato sack, okay? And you can also, always do your research. I'm sure you do. And you could even put on a fashion show. Why not, right? You could do this seasonally or once a month, whatever, however you change your collection, right? And you don't really need models to hire expensive models to do this. You could even, if you don't have the budget for that, get your friends to do it. They'll be more than happy, right? And just, get a location, rent a location and have fun with it. In fact, Eunice, she was involved in one recently. So it's just a fun night. But if you do hire models, please, for the love of all women in the world, hire models that eat and look healthy and happy. Because, we want to support a healthy environment for models and not, we know. Yeah. That's that. Because your fashion is fashionable. And, so some people do have this idea that it's old fashioned or that it's kind of, dumpy or that it's, just not up to par. Show them that it is, because it is. Number 3, find out what your customers want. Now you basically have, you have your conscious consumers on the one side and you have your retailers, your conscious retailers, and you have your normal retailers, and then you have normal people, right? You have several avatars. And I say avatars, that means personas, that means customers, okay? This is one idea of who your customer is. And so you're not just, if you want to get into stores, you're not just selling to the conscious consumer, you're also selling to the retailer. So you not only have to speak to him, you have to find out what he wants. And in order to do that, you know, you have to be able to read him. You have to get to know him first. Her. Why am I saying him? Her. Him, her. Him or her. So, and also with your customers, get to know them even more. And you could always do this by surveying. You could always interview, you know, and with retailers, get on the phone, right? It's not scary. It really isn't. I know a lot of people have a hard time just cold calling, but, you know, check out their website, do your research first, and just call them and ask them some questions. Find out who they are and what they want, what they're looking for. So number 4, look for alternative ethical materials to get the look you want. And for this, I mean, like, okay, because you're an ethical brand, you're what's the word? You don't have that many options. You know, that are ethically sourced. So you do have to do your research, and I'm sure you do already. But sometimes you settle, right? And you settle for this type of material because it's just, it speaks your values, and you know, it works, but it's not exactly what you want. It's not the 100% that you want. And if you feel that, or your customers feel that, and they see that, then they're settling too. And in order to create a bigger group of loyal fans who are going to rave about your products and tell others, and grow your customer base to impress the retailers, you know, you do your research, because there are a ton of other different options that you could possibly also use. And, you know, talk to people. Get into Facebook groups. I'll put a link below, because I just started a new Facebook group, and, you know, I'm learning things about materials too, and ingredients and all this stuff. So, so just, you know, start the conversation. And, yeah, I'd love to hear about different materials that you do use, because this totally fascinates me. Okay, number 5, excel in one area before moving on to the next. And this goes for any business, really. You want to get a group of loyal fans. You want to have a nice size customer base and make them super happy, make them rave about your products, like I just mentioned, before going into a different line. So let's say I use the example of women's underwear. Okay, you started this women's underwear line, and you know, the product's wonderful. You're starting to get customers, starting to get good reviews, but you're not quite there yet to move on. Let's say you're thinking about now men's underwear. You're like, oh wow, well, if we get men's underwear, maybe, you know, that'll increase our customer base. Stop, hold your thought, take a step back, breathe, and think about it. Because if you rock your women's underwear first, if you start to build your customer base and it's huge and they start raving, and then you bring in the men's underwear, guess who's going to buy the men's underwear first? It's not going to be the men. It's going to be the women. They're going to be gifting their men your underwear. Okay? So, and if you could get them to buy the men's underwear first, then you have your testimonials, then you have your 5-star ratings, and then you have your engagement about, wow, the men's underwear, and then the men will start coming in. Okay. Number 6, make your USP strong and not greenwashy. A USP is this unique selling proposition. Okay, it's what makes you special. Why should somebody buy from you and not from your competition? And in this ethical space, your competition is the next ethical brand who is also sustainable. So your USP is not sustainability. Okay, it's your product. It's how your product makes your customers feel. What is it about your pieces that are so special? Concentrate on that. Because if you say, yeah, well, we ethically source or we're fair trade, and I can't even think right now, but if it's a sustainability statement about your values, that's not going to set you apart from your competition. Okay. Number 7, this is the last one, become certified and enter and win award nominations. Now, this is really cool because because conscious consumers already have trust issues. So if you say that you are ethical, we probably won't believe you unless you show us, unless you give us proof, because we've been lied to so many times. Everybody on this planet, not just conscious consumers, everybody on this planet has been lied to by some marketer, or marketing department, by some company. Okay, we've all been there, and it's icky, it's gross. Okay, we don't like it, nobody does. So if you spend the time and probably a little money to get certified, that will set you apart from the rest. That'll give you an advantage. If people see this label, they'll say, wow, okay, they've been checked. They've been through the grinder. They are ethical. And, awards always look good. So show us that you are there. Now, I know it's hard, because sometimes it does take a lot of time and money, and, you might not be in a position right now to become certified, but there are plenty of awards, even smaller awards, that you can enter. Just Google, well, don't Google. I'll, Lilo.org, Lilo.org, or Ecosia, ECOSIA.org. Use those instead. Okay, check them out, because those are not Google. They have the Google API, and they give back. So every search result goes to a charity. So that's always good. Kind of like Smile at Amazon. Everybody, I think, knows that. But yeah. So yeah, don't Google anymore. Okay. So I've just created this closed Facebook group on Friday, and there are already a nice handful of wonderful people doing great things for this, for our environment and for people around the world. And so I'd love for you to join. I'm going to put the link down below. It's called the Changemakers Club, because that's who you are. And I'm gonna give marketing advice, but it's in a little more private setting. Okay, so I'd love for you to join, and I'm really excited that that you're here. If you have any questions, just ask, please. And yeah, have a wonderful day. Have an excellent weekend, and rock on.